There we go. And as before, let's actually this time really pay attention. The vessel's complete. We can delete that message. Got our contract here. Now, did I put a decoupler on this? There is a decoupler. So I was thinking about that. So I do have the ability, that's good, to, I wasn't even paying attention, but I do have a contract. One's to orbit Kerbin, that's that, but that's the main thing. But here, if I'm between 1,000 and 6,000 meters at an altitude between 60 meters per second and 1,700 meters per second, that's really broad, then this contract will satisfy. And I paid no attention as to whether that's happening or not. I do want to open up this, and I want to look at, yeah, we are running a, wow, it's going to take 7 minutes to run that. Do I have the electricity for that? I have an hour of electric charge. Okay, so I'm going to do a very quick save here. So we got a radiation scan happening here. It's going to take 7 minutes to do it. So why don't we just time warp that away? Wanted to check my electricity, make sure I didn't use up my batteries doing this. And of course, it's also going to need to get transmitted, isn't it? I'll just sort of let that go. Okay, so there we go. We got, oh, we had already transmitted it all, right? So that's cool. Okay, there we go. Now we're ready. Okay, and so all I have to do, again, is run that orbit program with a heading of 90 degrees and 1,500 meters there. So we are going to run that and hope everything... Oh, I'm still time warping. Oh my gosh. Oh, it seemed to be okay, but I was time warping at 4 times speed. It just, that was the fastest countdown I ever had. Okay, so once I'm looking at a speed, okay, I'm in the right speed range. That should be it. And I got to be flying. Oh, it doesn't count. What? What is this if it's not flying? Does it have to be a plane? Oh my goodness! Notice that this isn't green. I think it has to be a plane. It doesn't count this as flying. What a... I don't know what counts as flying then. This is flying. Jerks. What the heck? Okay. Alright. We're on our way. We are... What is all this shaking going on? It wasn't doing that before. Oh my gosh, this thing's really making me nervous. There's nothing... What is going on? Why? I don't know. I don't know what this shaking is. I'm not pulling that many G's. This is weird. Yeah, that's a sneaky contract with the flying. I'm assuming flying means a plane. This feels like it's like shaking itself apart, but there's really nothing. Like, my G's are just over 3 G's now, pushing 4 G's. Like, it's not bad. I've done a lot worse. For an uncrewed rocket? Weird. Maybe it needs to be piloted by a Kerbal. That could be very true. That's... whatever. We can stick it on that Juno, probably. And no, but the Juno can't go that... Well, it could probably go that fast. What is up with the camera shake? There is something fun. I think this is like... I don't know. What if I aim the camera here? Is that going to help me? No. I don't know. Very, very weird with the camera. I guess we're just going to... have to put up with it. Okay, I got to pay attention to what I'm doing. We're going here. We are collecting science. We're collecting that radiation scan in the upper part of the atmosphere. And what's going to be nice is once we're in the atmosphere, we'll be able to, or once we're in orbit, we'll be able to collect stuff to our heart's content. That'll be nice. Okay, so I got to get myself ready. This is done. Put on SAS. Oh, SAS doesn't work, of course. And I got to pay attention to my altitude and try my best to ignore all this shaking that's going on. Okay, I'm going to give myself a little bit of throttle because I need it for the attitude control. And again, I want to keep that apoapsis from getting away on me. So I'm really watching that. But there's a weird sound going on right now. I think once I get in orbit, I'm going to try leaving and coming back. But you can hear that sort of punching noise. I don't know what that is. Whoa, whoa, whoa. See, my apoapsis was getting too far away on me. Shoot, shoot, shoot. I let myself get a little bit elliptical. I also got to watch my... Okay, where am I... I gotta be a little bit conscious too of losing my signal with the KSC. Of course, now we're tumbling. I should just, you know what? When I come around to prograde, I'm gonna punch it just a little bit and get this periapsis just to be above 70, so I at least satisfy this contract. And we are collecting a radiation scan. So I'm just waiting for this to come around to prograde. I'm going to give it a little bit of juice, get this up to 70, and call that. Okay, there. That's an orbit, right? That's not an orbit. How's that not an orbit, you stinker? Achieve orbit of Kerbin. These contracts are like being mean to me. How is this not an orbit of Kerbin? Both periapsis and apoapsis are above 70 kilometers. 140 by 100? There's nothing in here saying 140 by 140. There's no way it needs to be 140 by 140. Yep. This should be, like, yeah, that would be in real scale. It would be 140 by 140. I'm going to try and give it, again, a little bit of a push. I'm really worried about losing my signal. So that's why I want to kind of get this done now, because I have limited ground stations. I think there's something going on that it's... I think it thinks... Okay, I'm going to actually... I think it's a little borked, and I think this is connected to the camera. I think it thinks there's part of this vessel somewhere else. I've had this kind of thing happen before. So I'm just going to go to the Space Center. See, yes, see? There's something borked here. Oh, man, why? Why does this have to happen? See that? While you are moving, it thinks I'm landed or something like that. I bet you if I got open... Here, I'll show you. If I open up Kerbal Engineer... Oh, I can't because I don't have the Kerbal Engineer chip. But I think it thinks I'm landed or something goofy like that. And I think it has to do with the fact that I... Let's revert to launch. Revert to launch. I think it has to do with the fact that it took off while I was time warping. I think that's what the issue was. And I think that's connected to the shaky camera. That's why it wouldn't let me go on. It thinks I'm down on the surface. It is very, very confused. Okay, so this time I'm going to be very careful with the time warping. Whoops, I am on this window here. There we go. So let's time warp away that radiation scan. And make sure this time I turn off the time warping. Okay, there we go. And we got our stuff from our radiation scan. Our time warp is now off. We'll try this again. So run orbit 90 1500. I think it had to do with that time warping. Yeah, F5, F9 I'm hearing. Okay, so now I'm hoping I don't get all that shaking and nonsense going on. Ah, what fun. What fun. See, no shaking this time. Behaving normal-like. Normal-like. Oh, maybe that's why I didn't get the contract. Contract complete! We've hauled the TDs. So it wasn't a tricky contract. It just didn't think I was flying. It thought I was still on the surface. So now I did get the contract for the TD-060 coupler. That's good news. Alright. And, of course, the vessel is complete. So that's what was happening. The contract wasn't mean. It was just, that's probably why I was getting, no, that doesn't explain the errors I was getting, but whatever. So I did get the contract. Good. Good, good, good. Okay. Okay, I feel better. This does not feel all janky now. Alright, so once again, we're going to wait until our apoapsis is, I think it's 80, and then that cuts off and it's going to shut down. I do have, and I will work on doing a full orbit script. I'm actually got all the pieces for it. I just need to put it together so that it'll do the circularization and everything. But what's actually holding me back is the lack of attitude control on this thing. I don't trust kOS to do the circularization burn without having SAS. SAS not the problem, but not having reaction wheels and those kind of things. Okay, program has now ended. Turn that off. All right, I feel so much better. I thought there was something serious. Yeah, borked physics warp is what was happening there. I've had that happen before where the game thinks you're landed. And I was going to open up Kerbal Engineer because you can, but I don't have the Kerbal Engineer chip on here. But Kerbal Engineer will tell you your current status. And I bet you anything my current status was landed. Or on the surface or something to that effect. Okay, so here we go. Again, I'm going to let myself get a little closer to apoapsis. We'll start throttling up to give me some attitude control. Okay, just give me a little bit. I see your question there. Is it glockal? But right now, I think I really got to pay attention to this. And I'll answer your question as soon as hopefully this will be done successfully. Okay, a little bit more throttle. And again, this time, I'm going to keep the throttle under control. Let's keep... No, more throttle. Last thing I want to do is pass my apoapsis. But I want to be a little more alert on keeping this close. This apoapsis close. So that's why I'm pitching a little bit below the horizon. But of course, I also don't want to pass... Whoops, that's a little too much. Okay, back here. Yeah, go, go, go. Very close. Very close. There we go. Orbit. Done. Yahoo! Okay. Contract complete. Excellent. Okay, that makes me feel better. So now we are in orbit, and we are running our radiation scan. It's going to take a little over 7 minutes. And this is... Earth space magnetosphere. So the radiation scan I think is really neat. It's not biome specific, but it is radiation belt specific. So if I push 0 on my keyboard, or maybe it's this 0. There it is. I have the Van Kerman belts, or I guess I can call them the Van Allen belts, considering this is Earth and not Kerbin. So we are in this lower one here, but getting in the different belts, so this is one belt here, and then the other belt is out this way, and getting into those belts will give you different radiation scans, so that's really neat. There's also the magnetopause, is I think what this is called. That's from the sun, pushing out the magnetic field around the Earth, so that's pretty cool. We're not getting out that far, but one day, turn that off again. You can also see like all of these are all the little ground stations. I can't remember the name of the mod that puts in all these little ground stations, but I have limited ground stations, and I can purchase ground stations in specific locations. I have no idea what they cost, but that's something to think about in the future because pretty soon I'm going to be losing my contact with the KSC. But what I want to do is... see if I can get all of this radiation scan. I do want to watch my electricity. I have 55 minutes of electricity left. I want to deorbit this thing while I can. I don't want to let this get too far. So, and it's also done. So far, I've done 6.1 science. That's exciting. Just the radiation scan left to do. I'm amazed. How am I still got a signal going here? Oh, there is some... Okay, I got to get into the settings. There is some kind occultation happening here. Signal's going right through the Earth. Okay, I'll get into the settings, see if I can fix that, because that ain't right. That ain't right. I'll figure that out. Like, look at that communication line. I mean, it's working to my benefit right now, but am I ever going to lose this signal? Like, that's a little silly. Wow, I am almost done my... Okay, this is silly. Oh, there, I finally lost the signal, but there's clearly some happiness happening with going through the surface with the signal. I clearly can go a few, 100, a few dozen kilometers below the surface there. Okay, so we are now just tumbling in orbit. I have no signal, so I have no control. I don't even get any data or information on my craft. There's absolutely nothing I got. Yeah, I can probably do a full orbit. Right now, I'd like to get a signal back and see... I don't know what's my next ground station I'm likely to get a signal from. Oh, not for a while. Oh my gosh. So I gotta buy... The only really workable ground station I've got is the one at the KSC. You can also notice I'm in an inclined orbit. Actually, an inclined orbit that's pretty darn close to matching the moon. It's like I was planning to go to the moon one day. But that's because our launch site is not on the equator. So we ended up with an inclined orbit, because your orbit's inclination can never be lower than the latitude of your launch site. Oh, I think... Do I have a signal? No. Not yet. Oh, there's some sort of ground station right here. But I'm not picking it up. Oh, no frequency assigned. Okay, I gotta look at that. Maybe once I get out of the... There's no frequency assigned. You know what? Let's go to the tracking station right now. Let's go to the tracking station right now. Let's see if we can figure this out. Tracking station. Tracking station we go. Let's see if we can figure out some ground stations. Okay, so I got a tracking station that I own right here, but it says no signal required. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that. How do I do this? Whoa, I just moved my space center there. I didn't mean to do that. Let's move the space center back. Is that station I'm interested in? Okay. I think, I gotta find the mod. Is it this guy? There's our mod, CommNet Constellation. Okay, so, ground stations. So I got this guy here. NS power. Okay, but I got no way of knowing where that is. Okay, that's kind of annoying. So, any guesses as to the longitude and latitude of that? Okay, we got one coming up. Maybe this one. What's this one? No frequency assigned. Shoot. Can I get any info on this? Satellite. I would love to know its lag. No, that's not going to give it to me. Okay, fine. I want to find this ground station. While we got something in orbit, it's a good time to kind of figure out tracking stations. I think I got to do this on my own, because all it's giving me here are latitudes and longitudes, and I have no idea what the longitude of this ground station is, but it'd be nice to figure it out. But I think once I do that, here I can edit this. Doesn't highlight which one it is. Oh wait, I can change the color. Oh, there we go, blue. Let's change it to blue. Apply. That didn't apply it. Okay, what one was that one? Why can't I move the camera? And then add a frequency. Nope, that's not it. I think the frequencies are just like 0. Add public broadcasting 0. Okay, now where is that? Update. I think I'm going to figure this out on my own, but I'm just really curious. I just changed one of these to a blue color. There it is. So I just changed this completely useless one that I already had control over. So it's something okay, I'll figure this out. I'm going to figure it out later. I'm going to go back to our vessel here. We're just going to deorbit it. I think it's a little too much to figure out right now, but you should be able to, and the frequencies you don't have to pick things like in megahertz or anything like that. It's just like 0, 1, 2. You can give them channels is really a better word for it. And so that only satellites that are on the same channel are communicating with each other. And I think the default is channel 0. So that's why I put in a 0 there. But what I got to do is go into these ground stations, figure out which ones are which, assign them frequencies so that I can communicate with them. But right now, I think what I'm going to do is just come around until I pick the KSC up again, and then we'll deorbit. Yeah, I got to give it a name. I think that will all work, but I think... Oh, there, I got my signal. I'm going to give it a name, but I think that's better for me to figure out between streams, and then I'll get back to you on it. Okay, but we got ourselves a signal here. How much electricity we got left? We got still an hour and 24 minutes of electricity. We have transmitted and collected all the science that we have to transmit or collect. You can see that we're coming back over North America again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for it to tumble around and come back to the retrograde vector, and then we're going to deorbit. I am so happy that I put in persistent rotation. Okay, so here we are. And we'll try and put it in an ocean. In fact, why don't we watch it from here so we can actually... I have 246 meters per second left, so we're just going to... That, or we're going to bomb Africa. Okay, throttle up. And let's see. No, we can put it into the Atlantic. Beautiful. That's going to work fine. There we go. Out of fuel. Coming down now. Back to here. Okay, and we get to watch it blow up. Did you see my comment? I'm sorry. I was in the middle of a while ago, but if you were wondering how to get the time to apoapsis and periapsis, ETA, yes, I do know that. I can use kOS to get all kinds of information. In fact, I could have gotten that status back when I was thinking it was landed. For that matter, I can get it all with Kerbal Engineer as well, but I'm going to try and sort of honor the restrictions of having a tier 1 tracking station, so that's why I didn't revert to kOS. But yes, thank you. I did know that you can use ETA apoapsis, and you can do that with, you can do everything with kOS. Okay, we are coming back into the atmosphere. We are running scans again, but clearly this thing's probably going to blow up, not in a pretty short order. How much science did we end up getting? 10.9 science, so that's going to be another node, so that's exciting. But we'll see if this makes it to the surface. My guess is it probably will. Reorienting itself. Well, it finished the telemetry report in the high atmosphere. We are frantically transmitting. It's very unlikely that this will all get transmitted. Flipping around backwards. And those tail fins are really close. There they start going. And we'll see how much... it's still transmitting somehow. I still have a signal. I'm amazed. I thought all this heating, all this plasma would be blocking that signal, but it's not. Still running experiments. This thing's a trooper. Oh, now I've lost my signal, so now I don't know. Now I don't know. Alright. Time to come down. It is a very long rocket. Actually, it's not so much that it's very long, because it's actually pretty small. It's a very skinny rocket, but I had to work with the parts that I had. And we are definitely coming down in the ocean. Are we transmitting some more? We got all this stuff, but we'll never transmit it all. Oh, my hard drive is full. Notice that? I have a 1.86 megabyte hard drive on this thing, and it is full. 0% available. It's all data that's all going to end up at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. Oh, well. Down we go. Definitely, though. Boosh. Okay. So that is that, and that is its end, and that is a fitting end. Let's, I don't know what it's expecting me to recover. Let's go back to the Space Center.